Hey everyone, this is Mark Spetz from the StopMotionStore.com, and a lot of people would like to make their own ball and socket armatures, and one of the problems with that is drilling out the stainless steel balls that you use, and threading them is extremely hard to do and time consuming, and you usually go through a lot of drill bits trying to accomplish just drilling out some simple balls. And so a lot of people will go and they'll buy softer metal such as brass, which is okay, but usually softer metals are inferior to harder ones because the ball is what takes all of the force from the sandwich plates around it in a stop motion armature. So one of the things we've done is we brought a huge stock of balls and rods, and these are actually used for jewelry purposes, like if you want to pierce your tongue or your ears or something and stick a rod in there with some barbells, they call them. But we're repurposing those for stop motion puppets because the fact that they're pre-drilled and they have some threads, and that's all you really need for a ball and socket armature ball. I mean, that's really kind of overkill. Like, most people don't even thread the ball, using a tap and die set with the rod and screwing it in. A lot of times you just solder it in there. So it's actually a plus. And we found a large lot of these from a company. And so we brought up a bunch of them. Basically, what you want to do if you buy these is you want to use something like Loctite Thread Lock 262 adhesive. Something like that to stick on the threads before you screw it into the ball. The other thing you can do is to solder it or braze it to the rod, which will make you, pretty much a permanent connection. The only difference between these and something that might be more, cinema quality like you'd see in a feature film is that the rod is only threaded to about an 1/8 inch depth. Now that's not so bad because we sell some of these balls which are only 4 to 8 millimeters in diameter, so it's pretty small. So for the smaller balls it's pretty good. For the heavier balls, that's where you might want to go with something else. But if you don't have the money and you don't mind spending 30 cents on a ball and a rod, then it's actually pretty good and very, very strong. So, unless you're going to be making a feature film and reusing your armature for 50 shots or 1,000 shots, you don't need to really go overkill on that anyway. So yeah, I mean, basically we had the rods and the balls. The balls are actually countersunk, so if you take solder, it'll actually flow into the ball slightly, without getting on the outside of the sphere itself, ruining your joints, making that ball pop inside of the sandwich joint that you make. We also recommend, if you make sandwich joints, use something like aluminum or brass. Any softer metal is good. You could also use a steel as well, and that's what we would recommend if you're making these for clay puppets, because the oils will get inside there in your joints that you make and loosen them. So you want to have some kind of a steel sandwich joint for clay. You want to use something like aluminum for foam latex, and if you're making a silicone puppet, brass is a good material for the sandwich plates. And that's pretty much it. So check it out at thestopmotionstore.com.